Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. Today's video is going to be a little bit of a different one. If you cannot tell, have some really bad breakouts going on my face right now. I've been breaking out really badly, so I figured today I would show you guys how I do a full coverage but natural looking base. And this is something I do on a more everyday basis when I have some acne, just because it helps me feel a little bit more confident. I have everything concealed, but it still looks super natural up close. So if you guys want to see how I do that, then just go ahead and keep watching. Also, yes, I'm in a different space. This is not permanent, but we are in the stages of moving to a new house, so it's going to be kind of different for a little bit, but I kind of figured let's do this instead of the green background for a little bit. So yeah, new background, you know, new me. Okay, so I've already applied a moisturizer on my face, and I'm trying to wait until that sinks in a little bit so that I can put on my primer. Actually, you know what? Let's just go on with it. I don't even care. So for primer today, I'm going to be using my One Heck of a Blot primer. You already know. Like, I don't even have to describe it, tell you about it. I use it every day. Okay, so the key with your foundation base is that you want something that's going to provide a little bit of coverage, but not something that's going to be super full coverage, which is going to make your face look a little more heavy and cakey. So I would use a foundation that's around medium coverage, and for me, that foundation is the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Foundation. This foundation has incredible coverage. It doesn't have completely full coverage. Even on my acne scars, after a layer, I can see them, but I can always go in and conceal, and that's the big step when you have acne and wanting to make it look natural, is do a medium coverage foundation, and then where you need to, go in with a concealer that's more full coverage. And I'll show you the technique I use when I blend out my concealer that really helps the coverage stay there but also look really natural. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this first, and y'all already know I love this foundation. I think it's my favorite foundation of all time. I don't want to state that claim, but the other day I tried my stick foundation again from them, and I didn't like it quite as much as I remembered liking it. But this one also is starting to give me bad smile lines again. So I don't know if it's like in seasons I have bad smile lines or what, but my skin needs to like really get it together. It's breaking out. Smile lines are getting bad again, but I don't know. But I'm just gonna apply this. I like to do this in sections because it does dry pretty quickly. So what I'll do is I'll apply it. My mirror is like really far down here, so that's why I'm looking all the way down here. But I just do it like this, just a thin layer like that, and I'll blend it out with my beauty blender. So as you can see, this gave me a really good amount of coverage. It's not completely full coverage. You can still see some of my acne scars. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but in real life you can still see some of my acne scars. And this is the other side, so you can see that it really concealed the redness and everything like that. But this foundation is one of the most natural foundations ever. I find that it doesn't look very detectable on the skin, which is really great. So I just wanted to show you guys this up close as I'm doing it, so you can see that the finish and the actual foundation does really matter. So this foundation is really good if you're wanting to do something like this. Now I'm gonna go in on this side and avoid like this one's active, so I'm gonna avoid that. So I'm gonna avoid that active breakout and just bring the foundation over it once I'm blending it out. So as you can see, I still have my redness peeking through. I still have this little guy peeking through, and I have a couple peeking through on my forehead. So I've got one layer of that down. I'm actually gonna keep you guys zoomed in so I can show you up close how I conceal these breakouts. So my favorite concealer for concealing blemishes is absolutely the Tarte Shape Tape, and I just think it is the best concealer, first of all, in general. But when you blend it out in with this technique, it's very smooth and natural looking. I mean, natural, but like it still looks really smooth on the skin. So what I like to do is I'm going to show you on this one first. So I'll take this and I'll place it on that area and a little bit around it, and I'm going to leave it there for a second. Same thing with these guys right here. A little bit over it. This guy. I'm not going to worry about that one on my hairline. I don't really care about it too much. And then same thing with this one. I think that's about it for the major breakouts on my face. So basically this technique is that I'll put them on the blemishes, and from there I'll let them sit for a couple seconds, not too long, because I don't want them to dry out because that'll make it look a little bit cakey. So it really is kind of a science, but what I like to do after I have let them sit there for just a few seconds, I'll go and blend it out, but I blend out the edges. So when you blend out the edges, it keeps the coverage in the middle section of the blemish. And also when you're doing this, use the lightest touch. So like even more ridiculous than you think that you're being, because it's gonna really help with keeping the coverage there. So I'm gonna do this one last. So I'm gonna go around it. This technique is a little tedious, but as you can see, the result is so good. It obviously doesn't take away the texture of those active breakouts, but it really does cover them up. So this is a really good tip that I feel like you guys can use to keep the face overall really natural, and in those areas really go in and really take the time and blend them and conceal them and everything like that. And yeah, so that's all of these breakouts concealed. This one is giving me a little bit of trouble, and I think that's because it's like a scabby area. So I'm just gonna actually leave that one. You can't really do a whole lot with those, but the rest of them are really concealed. And yeah, I'm gonna zoom back out so we can do my under eyes. Okay, so I'm just gonna take that Tarte Shape Tape underneath my eyes as well. And I let this also sit just for a couple seconds, not too long, just to add a little bit of extra coverage. We should be good. Let's blend it out. And you see that I'm using just a beauty blender for my base products because it's really gonna help in keeping the face non-cakey and everything like that, because it does have a little bit of moisture. And sometimes when you pack on a lot of stuff with a brush, it can become really cakey and really dry. So a beauty blender is definitely the way to go when you're covering up acne, blemishes, and everything like that. So next step is powder, and this is also a super important step when you are concealing blemishes, just because you want your blemishes and everything to stay covered throughout the day. For powder, I'm going to be using the Coty Airspun Loose Translucent Powder. I just feel like it's a really good powder. It's super inexpensive, and the key is also to use the sponge with it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dip into it, and I'm just going to start setting my cheek area with this, light motions, nothing too aggressive. And that keeps all of the blemishes concealed, and it will set the makeup in all day so you don't have any issues with it coming off. Okay, so I just did my eyebrows off camera and put on some bronzer. I put on my IBY Beauty contour palette. I put the bronzer on in there. So the next thing with skin that's usually textured and has some blemishes, you want to use a matte blush just to smooth everything out and not bring attention to anything with shine or anything like that. So I'm going to go in with my Essence Satin Touch blush in the shade Satin Love. It looks like it has shimmer in the pan, but on the skin it definitely does not have anything like that. So I'm just going to apply this with my cute little e.l.f. blush brush that I showed in my haul. I'll link that in the eye if you haven't seen it. And I'm just going to apply this to my cheeks. And another huge step that's going to be good for smoothing out the skin, making everything look super natural, melting it all in, is, you called it, setting spray. That is super duper important for the skin and just to make sure that it all melts in and everything like that. Yeah, so I'm going to go in with my Mary Kay Makeup Finishing Spray and just spray this all over my face. And then if you really feel like you need to powder down some other areas again, you can do that. So you definitely don't have to apply a highlighter if you are having troubles with your skin, texture, acne, everything like that. But if you were going to apply one, which I am, definitely do one that has more of a sheen rather than like glitter and everything like that. That is definitely going to help in making sure that the skin still looks smooth. So for me, I'm going to go into this shade right here, which is called Turn It On Pearl from the Smashbox Spotlight palette in Pearl, and I'm just gonna take this shade right here and dust this across just the tops of my cheekbones, and just a little bit. Ooh, so pretty. Okay, so this is what my skin is looking like up close and personal, and you can see that everything is pretty much concealed, and you can't really do anything about the texture, but the rest of the skin is super smooth, and it just looks really pretty and natural still, I feel like, with that full coverage. And this is something that really boosts my confidence when I am going through this kind of stuff. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I think it is super helpful with these tips and everything like that. So if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up before you leave. Subscribe to my channel if you've not already, and once you have subscribed to my channel, please turn on the little bell notification so you're notified every single time I upload. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.